a series which is Diablo 3 character builds. Alright, today I'm going to discuss 3 different builds for the Crusader. Alright, now in these builds I'll just be going over basic attack skills and passive skills to equip to the character. I had erased all the Diablo 3 memory I had on my system a while ago, so I did lose a few items. I will not be going over what items go well with it, since there have been patches since I had last played it. I just recently got the Crusader up to level 70. Once I get any character up to level 70, I will be showing you multiple builds for that character. Alright? But the first build that we are going to go with is the Iron Maiden build. Now, this build I have not played with before, but I tried looking up the builds for it, and I could not make heads or tails of what they were doing, so I just came up with one myself, which is based around blocking, which I'm pretty sure is what it's supposed to. You do not really attack. The only attack we have is Bombardment Barrel of Spikes with the, Barrel of Spikes. In place of burning spheres, barrels of spikes are hurled, dealing damage increased by your Thorns damage. This entire build is based around Thorns damage and surviving. Now, our attacks in order are Punish with the Retaliate. Alright, when we block with Hardened Senses active, we deal damage back to our attacker. This is the only attack besides the bombardment for the fact that it increases our block chance. Alright, then we have Iron Skin. While it is active, our attackers take extra thorn damage. Then we got Consecration, Bed of Nails. When it's active, the ground is covered in nails, dealing thorns damage every second. Then Provoke with the Hit Me rune to gain increased block chance for a short duration after casting it. Oh. And then we have Laws of Justice, a movable object, and it will increase the armor for us and our allies, so we are less likely to die. Now, this may not be the exact high-end build that you would find on the internet, or if you played this game a lot. Alright, now for passive skills, we have Heavenly Strength, but that's because of the sword we have equipped is a two-handed sword. I equipped it for this build because it increases 100. Alright? If you do not have the sword, I would get renewal, because after you block, you gain life. Alright? We have Hold Your Ground. You no longer dodge, but your block chance is increased by 30%. Then we have Divine Fortress. Our armor is increased by percentage equal to our shield's block chance. And then Iron Maiden. Our Thorns damage is increased by 50%. Now I will go through one bounty with each of the builds I'm showing you. Alright? And we'll see how they all play out for everyone. Now, one build I'm showing you is a mid-level build. Now, I wish we could get rid of our follower. If any of you have figured out how to do that, let me know. Now, from what I heard from my friend, which is why I looked into the build, this is a guy I work with over at GameStop, he said he does an Iron Maiden build where he basically does not attack whatsoever. And he said the only thing that's bad about it is that he has no attack skills. Now when I tried to look it up, I saw a bunch of attack skills on other builds of this type, and I was wondering how he had no attack skills. So I decided to put Punish and Bombardment since I did not know the exact build setout that he had. He says this is a very good build for bosses. Oh yes, and before I forget, I will be showing you the sword that I have equipped. Alright, now the sword that I have equipped is a legendary sword, legendary two-handed, Faithful Memory. Now I do not know if it always comes with the Thorns damage, but if it does, I would get it for this build. It seems pretty good. Otherwise, I would get a one-handed piece of equipment in order to increase your Thorns damage and just transmogrify till you find it. And we seem to be holding our ground pretty well, but considering he plays this game a bit, I would consider playing this build if I did not already have a favorite build for the Crusader myself, which will be the last build I'm showing you. Now I could see what he means by this.
Not yet.
Is not that good of a build for dealing with mobs. I personally kill large groups of enemies with my build way faster than this. Alright. And the build I will be showing you is build I will be showing you next is a build based around Shield Bash and Blessed Shield. Now, that is a mid-level build. I would not suggest using it for the end game. I have found by seeing another person I know play and my own experience with the build that end game on the higher difficulty settings, it is very hard to survive.
Burn in the light.
Alright, as you could see, our survivability is really high. I have this on Torment 1, by the way. As soon as I get more people, as soon as I get anybody playing with me, I will be kicking up the difficulty setting to the higher Torment levels. But this seems like a pretty good build for Torment. So if you are thinking of playing a Crusader, I would definitely check this build out. You end up touching your controller very little, so if you just like to watch people die while attacking you, this is the build for you. Alright, we are going to head back to town, and I will be switching out to the next build that we are going to do.
I need to go back.
Alright guys, we are going to keep Punish, but we are going to do Rebirth. We are getting rid of Bombardment, and we are going to go with Shield Bash, and we're going to do one-on-one for Shield Bash. because it increases our survivability ratings. Alright, square, we will get shield glare. And we're going to do zealous glare. Now an alternate for the higher difficulty settings could be uncertainty, but I would only use that rune if you are playing in a party with another, as the witch doctors with mass confusion or more crusaders with the uncertainty rune. Alright, now we get rid of consecration. And we are going to get provoke. Oh, we can't do it till it cools down. Alright, I'll triangle. What we are going to do... Oh, we are going to have to wait a minute. We'll try out that. Alright. Now we are going to get rid of consecration. And we are going to get Akrat's champion with embodiment of power. Alright, punish. Shield bash. Shield glare. Blessed shield. And the two that I would choose between would either be piercing shield or staggering shield. But we're going to go with staggering shield for a more consistent survivability rating. Alright, we're actually going to get rid of that. Put that there. You're going to get towering shield. We are going to get indestructible because there is a chance of death. And you know what? We are actually not going to get that one. It is between Wrathful and Indestructible, but I would say Indestructible will heal you more. Wrathful will heal you more than Indestructible, so we are actually going to go with Wrathful. Alright, now we're going to go... Oh, we already have it in our inventory. Alright. Now we are going to go do another one and see how this works out. We are going to kill Haynes. This guy doesn't get any underwear. Very spooky. Did I
Not
hit the
enough
wrong
wrath.
thing? Now, I think I may have actually fixed the problem by building this build like this, because I seem way less likely to die. But the object of this build is to get as much wrath as possible to continuously spam the shield bash and blessed shield. The blessed shield is the only ranged attack you will have, so you gotta watch out for that. Now, personally, you can equip whichever shield bash rune you want, but I would stay away from the cross rune. Yes, you could hit enemies on force high.
My wrath is low.
But from when I play, there are just better options for the build itself. And the only other one that I would really pick would be increase the weapon damage of shield bash or pound, which we are going to try this for a second, see how it works out. And if you do not like playing with laws, you could always switch out the laws for taunt. But if you use taunt, you will get attacked a whole lot more often.
I require more wrath.
Which is why I prefer the law over the taunt itself. Now we're going to kill the #1 maker of underwear in America, Hanes. Michael Jordan is going to be so disappointed.
Not enough wrath.
Alright, now we just have to kill a few more enemies and I will show you the final build for the Crusader. Alright, and I am going to show you how the other runes for the other rune for Shield Bash plays out. But this is a really for only when you go up against the boss enemies. Alright, I would not, and for some reason, I would not go with hordes for that. Now, I don't get why Shattering Throw would be that good. Alright, Piercing Shield, I have noticed that it doesn't always knock them aside, and the stun chance is far better than pushing them aside.
My wrath is low.
Now, as you notice, there are some enemies that, even with Pound equipped, it's not killing them fast enough, and we just are taking way longer than we should to kill them. Now, if you're going on the really high levels of Torment, I would use one-on-one if you find that you can't deal with the enemies you're going up against.
Not enough wrath.
Alright, let me finish this video. Alright guys, now we are going to do the last part of this video where I show you the last build that I have come up with for the Crusader. And this one is by far my favorite. It is the Field Commander build. Now what we use is the Hammer of Justice. With the Holy Bolt rune, we use Blessed Hammer, and you could either use Limitless or Dominion, but I prefer Limitless. It makes it way more reliable for you to actually hit your enemies. And there's also a piece of equipment that will onto your Blessed Hammer. So I would just play with Limitless until you finally get that. Now what we are going to do is we get Akrat's Champion with Rally. Alright, which will reduce the cooldown of all of our abilities. This is a cooldown based build. Then we get Steed Charge with Draw and Quarter. And then we have to equip Phalanx. Now, for Phalanx, depending on what you feel like your character needs to deal with, you should either go with Bowman or Bodyguard. Those are really the best two, and they are on cooldown, so your Akrat's Champion will reduce the cooldown necessary for you to use it. Then we get our final ability, Bombardment, with Annihilate. Now, if you are going against a boss and you know where the boss is, and you know it's the only enemy you will be facing, I would switch to Targeted, because it will allow it to automatically target it instead of it being a little more spread out against the minions the boss summons. But personally, I go with Annihilate because each impact has an increased critical hit chance. This is a build where you want as much critical hit chance as possible. Now, when you are fighting a boss, I do wholeheartedly suggest switching out Steed Charge for, where is it? For Falling Sword. And I would get the rune that says Rise Brothers because it summons avatars, which are the same avatars from Phalanx, which are the Bodyguard ones. Alright, and they do a lot of damage. It increases your damage exponentially. Now, since we want our cooldowns, you will always want a one-handed weapon. For this build, you have to have Fervor to reduce your cooldown settings. You're going to want to increase your Justice and Blessed Hammer damage. You're going to want Wrathful because it increases your survivability. And you're going to want Lord Commander. Now, there are other ones you could get, but they generally are not necessary. Finery is all well and good, but I just do not believe it's necessary whatsoever for the build. Alright, now we're going to go do one last one of these, and we are going to complete the video on the builds. Now, I do map this out a little differently usually. I have Steed Charge on Square, because it's a faster cooldown, and I put Akrat's Champion on Triangle. and I usually have
Keep your distance.
phalanx
This burden is mine to bear.
on R1,
May death bring peace from your madness,
since we
Leon.
use it more than
Traitors!
bombardment.
Even in death, the armies of Condorus will still obey their king.
Now, as you
Even
have
if you
noticed,
will
we
not.
kill enemies a whole lot faster
Patience.
than we would if we were using the other two builds. If you're going for a speedrun playthrough, this is the character that I would use, this character build. It is a whole lot of fun once you get going and get the hang of the tempo of the build. And you also just run through the whole
Clearly they do not know
area
who you are
at a
around
faster pace. For speedruns, this is definitely the build.
Not ready yet.
Oh, we got legendary bracers. Set bracers, sorry.
Patience.
Oh, he teleported. Now, as you notice, because of the passive abilities and everything we have,
I require more wrath.
we are gaining life almost as fast as we're losing it. This poison is really doing damage to us.
By the light be damned.
And I really should have put targeted for that hit on this guy. Oh, he just knocked us out of our speed charge. Alright, now we are going to go kill Ragnog. You know what, we really aren't worried about these people. Out of my face. Necromancer Betrayer. He betrayed the Necromancers. Now, this Akrath champion has our abilities at a far greater speed. Alright, and we have completed the bounties. I would say that was the factor. Try out the builds and let me know what you think. Now, there are a few alternate builds for these based on the equipment you get dropped to you. But that's basically every character gets played differently by everybody else. Just try out the build. Let me know what you think. I will be working on getting other characters up to level 70 and showing builds for that one. Although there is one build that I will not be happy about doing, which is the Demon Hunter. I hate the Demon Hunter. Alright, now we are heading back to town. And this video is over, guys. Alright, this is Jester Gnome signing out.